don't know about you, but every day I struggle with what to eat, good things to eat and how to exercise. And there's a lot of distractions in the world now. There's Facebook and technology. When you get home, you don't do as much. And also, you're bombarded by commercials that tell you what to eat, and that it's not always good things to eat and what to do, and not necessarily good things to do. Next slide. At the end of this speech, the audience will know how to access innovative programs and use them in your everyday life. Next slide. The facts about obesity: over a third of U.S. citizens are obese, 36.5% of adults are obese, and more disturbing is childhood obesity is increasing rapidly. Obesity can lead to heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and certain types of cancers. And this is from the CDC. Next slide. This is also from the CDC. Virginia falls kind of in the middle. This is the U.S. adult obesity rate. Next slide. This is from Choose My Plate. It's an innovative program. This is one of the programs I wanted to talk about. It Choose My Plate, the Diabetic Association program, and Michelle Obama's Let's Move program. It's the three I'm going to talk about. Next slide. Choose My Plate was developed by the United States Department of Agriculture. It was a response to the obesity crisis. It helps you improve your food, and the program is internet accessible. Next slide. Here is My Plate. Half your plate should be vegetables and fruits, a quarter grains, a quarter protein. This should be half whole wheat. This should be varied, and milk instead of sugary drinks, more water. Next slide. More plate suggestions are, there's a super tracker within that program, and you can put all your data in, and you can get reports about vitamins and calories and all that kind of thing. Also, they feel like exercise is important for health. Adults, it's 2.5 hours a week, and then 2 times the strength training a week. Next slide. You can start with 10 minutes and increase gradually. The American Diabetic Association is the next one. We already talked about My Plate. It is web accessible. You can go on it even if you're not diabetic and see what your risk is. They individualize your meals. They have a plate just like My Plate, and they can individualize your diets, and they suggest you use a registered dietitian. Next slide. This is the Create Your Plate, and they're asking people to, that is from the American Diabetic Association, to actually share this online. Next slide. American Diabetic Exercise Recommendations. They ask you to ask your healthcare provider, start slowly. Walking's good for everybody. They have tips online on that site. And you need to stop your activity and call your doctor if you feel lightheaded or sick or shortness of breath. Next slide. And you don't have to do this. This is like a PowerPoint to get the benefits of exercise. Next slide. Also, the public can support ADA through walking, through school programs like Stop Diabetes at School, and volunteering in your community, and there's the website. Next slide. Now, we've talked about the plate, we've talked about My Plate, and we've talked about American Diabetic Association. Now we're going to talk about Let's Move. This was developed by Michelle Obama. It was, she felt like childhood obesity needed to be addressed. Because African American and Hispanic children, they have a 40% obesity rate. And obesity is increasing in children and causing more disease. Next slide. Let's Move. They wanted healthy foods in the school. They wanted to decrease accessibility to fruits and vegetables and healthy food. Physical activity for children was 60 minutes, for adult was 30. And they have a link to actually My Plate in there. And this was from the Let's Move website also. Next slide. This is also from the Let's Move. 3 Ps: plan, purchase, prepare, make a list, check tips, buying, plant a garden. Next slide. And Michelle Obama got some children together. They planted a garden. She doubled it in size, and this encourages, she just wanted to highlight the problem with obesity. And of course, Melania is going to take the garden over, according to a Foley, who wrote an article from the Washington Post, and this is all from her Let's Move. Next slide. And this is just Michelle Obama exercising and planting a garden. I hope that, next slide, the conclusion is that I have talked about 3 programs: My Plate, Let's Move, and the ADA, and all of them have constant threads: diet, exercise, and I hope that this has helped you. It helps me have structured programs to lose weight and stay on track. Thank you. And show the audience. This is my neighbors, Bob and Diane, my husband, my grandbaby, and Shay, my daughter-in-law, and this is Brian, my son. Thank you very much.